Israel hit Iran, but 12 days later, it was Benjamin Netanyahu picking up the phone, begging Donald Trump to intervene to bring about a ceasefire. Why? Because the Sunday punch didn't knock Iran out. It hurt Iran, but Iran adapted. Again, a lot of people only read what the West wants them to read about this war. Read what the Iranians are saying. They've been pretty open about this. It was fascinating. I don't know if you saw the program where the Iranian pilots were talking about how they were intercepting the Israelis, not to shoot them down. They're not claiming they shot down the Israeli Air Force, but the Israelis to attack, they were using this missile system called the Blue Streak, I believe. There's a red streak and a silver streak and a black streak, but the Blue Streak was the main one. To do this, you have to fly an attack profile. And so you're coming in and you're getting everything locked in, then you're going to release the missile and it's going to go to its target. But as they're flying that attack profile, the Iranian Air Force is coming in and locking in, getting their target acquisition radars to lock in on the Israelis. And the Israelis had to break off their attacks, which means this idea of Israeli air supremacy, where they're getting to do whatever they want, wasn't the case. Actually, near the end of the war, the majority of Israeli attacks were being broken off because the Iranian Air Force, which everybody thought had been destroyed, was up and flying and working and intercepting. So that's something. The Israelis got their knockout punch because for 10 years, the Mossad had built this network of, covert operatives who were building drone factories. And they had these drone launched vehicles that they were running around and they flew them off, and they hit missiles, they assassinated people, the whole thing. Well, that's gone. All those Mossad dudes are dead, hung by the neck until dead. All the factories have been discovered and destroyed. That's gone. The Israelis were able to hurt Tehran because they were able to fly through Syria into Azerbaijan and then come in through the Caspian Sea and attack from the rear, which was unprotected. That won't happen again. The Russians have been flying, as you insinuated, nonstop heavy lift cargo. They're bringing in radars, missile defenses, and aircraft. There's modern versions of the MiG-29 flying over there with advanced search radars. That won't happen again. So all the things that gave Israel the advantage for their knockout blow, they don't exist anymore. Meanwhile, the Israeli missile defense system, which failed, hasn't been repaired. I mean, it's not any better. It's the same that it was. They're still trying to replace the missiles. The United States, we brought in Aegis class destroyers and cruisers. We pretty much shot through our SM-3s and SM-6s, our missile interceptors. We fired a year's worth of production in 12 days. And there's nothing to replace it. The THAAD is supposed to be this great system, doesn't work. And that's against Iranian missiles that were 20 or 30 years old. Near the end of the war, Iran was firing new missiles, not as many, but they weren't getting hit. They were coming through. They're hitting targets that hurt. And the Israelis now have admitted this hurt. That's why Netanyahu made the phone call.
سرچ مدیا